So welcome to the Design Automation Conference 16 in Austin, Texas. So today I begin my day with a big player, a big player in the IP domain, Cadence. And I think there are probably very interesting new topics to tell us. I am with Duke Durden, which is the VP of Design IP Marketing. And I think he will speak about the very hot topic, DDR. Everybody wants DDR in the world, so you must have a very good news.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for having us here today. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit was DDR, and specifically DDR that's optimized for particular applications. So DDR is very important, like you just said, and everybody wants it because every chip has to interface to memory. And the thing that's unique is that different applications have quite different requirements for that memory interface. Yeah. So a very simple example is if you're building a cell phone, you typically are interfacing to one DRAM chip. It's usually a standard called LPDDR, which is low power DDR. And power is very important to you, especially standby power. You don't want to be consuming anything when the phone isn't operating, as well as the active power is also critically important. At the other end of the spectrum, if you're building a high-performance server, you still have DRAM in there, you still have a memory interface. In this case, it'll be a very large capacity memory because servers need lots and lots of memory. And you still care about power to some extent, but not nearly the same as you do in a cell phone. What servers care most about is actually performance. So they're going to worry about how big is the memory that you can support, how wide is it. You have other features for high reliability like ECC for data protection. And so you have a very different set of requirements between a mobile phone and a server, even though they're both talking to what at the end of the day is DRAM. And so what we've been able to do at Cadence is come up with a highly configurable core. And so we can take one core and build it in multiple configurations specific to the needs of the customer and their application. So for those cell phone customers that want very low power, you can implement it in a way which meets those power requirements by doing things like clock gating and power gating and other power saving techniques. And for the servers, since it's configurable, we can also add things like the ECC protection for data integrity, the different standard of DDR versus LPDDR. All those things are configurable in both our PHY and our controller, which allows us to address a very wide range of markets and applications, all with the same piece of IP.
Maybe I will interrupt you with a question.
Sure.
Who is doing the configuration? Do you plan to have, DNR is listing IP?
Right.
So tomorrow we'll release the DDR for, I don't know, this application, DDR for that application, or do you sell a configurable engine and the user will configure it? Who is doing the configuration? You ahead and sell different instances, or the user?
In our case, we do the configuration. So the way it works is it's the same product. The controller is RTL, so it's process independent and foundry independent. The PHY, it has circuitry like IOs and timing circuits, which are process specific and foundry specific. So at that level, it's a specific product. But then the way we engage with customers is we go out and we meet with them and we understand what the requirements are. We have the things within the PHY that are configurable, like how wide of an interface do you want? Do you want DDR or LPDDR? Things like that. And so the customer fills out a configuration worksheet, and then we go back and we build that specific configuration and we deliver it to the customer in about a week's time. So it's they do come to us for the configuration, but the amount of time that it takes for us to do that is fairly short.
Okay, so it's a mixture of service, tuning, and your engine.
Yes, right.
I think it's very exciting because DDR is very demanded. It's the first time I see, I think, a requirement specific. So I think it's good news.
Yes, it is. It's good news for customers too. And it's a standard that is continuing to evolve. So LPDDR4 is the latest and DDR4 is the latest, and there's some new standards that are going to be coming out like LPDDR4X, where they reduce the voltage and further reduce the power on the interface. And so we're going to be coming out with some announcements in a few weeks about some enhanced products supporting newer standards and higher data rates and much better power performance in area.
So we are sure that we'll get the announcement as soon as they're available, and we will publicize them. So very happy to see good news about DDR, which is so important in our
Yes.
area.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.